The transformation of Arsenal from a team of immense potential into a genuine European powerhouse represents one of the most compelling narratives in modern football. This is no longer a project based on promise. It is a fully realised machine operating at a level of efficiency and dominance that feels almost unprecedented in its recent history. When a squad can comprehensively outplay an institution like Bayern Munich, a team filled with global stars, and a legacy of success, it signals a fundamental shift. This is not a fleeting moment of form, but the culmination of a meticulous, multi-year plan finally reaching its terrifying zenith. It's terrifying zenith. The evidence is no longer in the potential for greatness, but in the consistent execution of it, game after game, against the most formidable opponents. Arsenal have evolved beyond being a strong team. They have become a systemic problem that opponents simply cannot solve, a unit so cohesive and versatile that they are fundamentally unplayable. The journey to this point was anything but linear. It is essential to recall the context from which this team emerged, a period characterized by uncertainty and a palpable lack of identity. Finishing in the middle of the table, the club seemed disconnected from its own illustrious history, a giant struggling to find its feet. The appointment of Mikel Arteta was a statement of intent, but the process was slow, deliberate, and often met with impatience. His vision, a detailed blueprint for a complete footballing philosophy, required unwavering faith. Now, in 2025, that faith has been vindicated in the most spectacular fashion. This Arsenal side is a testament to strategic planning, a team constructed with such precision that there are no visible weaknesses, no soft underbelly for opponents to target. They are robust in defence, creative and controlling in midfield, and lethally versatile in attack, all underpinned by a mental fortitude that was once questioned but is now undeniable. The North London derby against Tottenham served as a perfect microcosm of this new reality. The atmosphere was a cauldron of energy, a spectacle of light and sound, and the performance that followed was a masterclass in dominance. The opening goal, a piece of incisive link-up play finished with cold precision by Leandro Trossard, set the tone. It was a goal of intelligence and coordination. However, the defining story of the match was the breathtaking emergence of Eberechi Eze. Returning to his boyhood club, the summer signing delivered a performance for the ages, a hat-trick that etched his name into the folklore of this historic fixture. His first was a thunderous strike from distance, a statement of pure power. The second, coming mere seconds after the restart, was a lesson in composure, a calm finish after a deft pass. Even a consolation goal from Tottenham did little to disrupt the rhythm. Eze completed his historic treble, a feat not accomplished in this derby for nearly half a century, cementing a monumental victory. This was not just a win, it was a declaration of... Here was a player, filling in for an injured key figure, performing at a world-class level, demonstrating that the quality within the squad runs deep. This resilience in the face of absences is a hallmark of elite teams. The injury to the defensive stalwart Gabriel Jesus would be a catastrophic blow for most sides, potentially derailing their entire campaign. For Arsenal, it became an opportunity for others to step forward. The partnership of William Saliba, the ever-calm and dominant centrepiece, with either Christian Mascara or Piero Hincapié, has looked seamless. Against Tottenham, Hincapié was immovable. Against Bayern Munich, Mascara handled one of Europe's most feared attacks with an veteran's poise. Behind them, David Raya operates with the assurance of a goalkeeper who knows his defence will limit the opposition to only the most difficult of chances. The midfield tells a similar story of adaptability. The long-term absence of Martin Odegaard, the team's creative heartbeat, could have collapsed their entire offensive structure. Instead, Eze seamlessly inherited the mantle, pulling the strings with vision and flair. And then there is Declan Rice, a player who has transcended his initial defensive role to become the complete midfielder. He is the team's metronome and its engine, capable of breaking up play with a crucial tackle, dictating the tempo with his distribution, and surging forward to become a genuine goal threat, as evidenced by his early volley that forced a spectacular save. The recent addition of Martin Zubimendi only adds another layer of tactical flexibility, allowing for rotation without any drop in quality or control. A signature element of this Arsenal machine, often misunderstood by critics, is their set-piece proficiency. Dismissed by some as a mere trick or a label like Set-Piece FC, this aspect of their game is, in fact, a reflection of their overall superiority. It is the pursuit of marginal gains perfected into a consistent, match-winning weapon. They have statistically been the most dangerous team from dead ball situations in Europe, and this is no accident. It is the result of relentless drilling, innovative routines, and the perfect marriage of delivery and execution. Opponents study these patterns exhaustively, yet they remain powerless to stop them. The movements are choreographed, the blocking is precise, and the aerial dominance of players like Saliba and Rice is overwhelming. However, to label them solely a set-piece team is to fundamentally misread their quality. Against Tottenham, 3 of their 4 goals originated from open play, showcasing a beautiful blend of combination play, intelligent movement, and clinical finishing. The fluidity with which players like Timber and Calafiori invert from full-back positions, the width provided by Saka and Martinelli, and the constant positional interchanges between Ez and Odegaard create a multifaceted attacking threat that is impossible to contain for 90 minutes. The statement made against Tottenham was profound, but the ultimate test of any aspiring European giant is performance on the continent's grandest stage. Bayern Munich's arrival at the Emirates provided the exact benchmark. They were not just opponents, they were a measuring stick. Bundesliga champions, a team with a fearsome record of 17 wins from their previous 18 matches, boasting the legendary Harry Kane and a squad brimming with international quality. The pre-match narrative was set. This was where Arsenal's supposed flaws would be exposed. What transpired was not an examination they barely passed, but a demonstration of their absolute authority. From the outset, Arsenal were not intimidated. The aggressor. Bayern enjoyed sterile possession in the opening exchanges, but it was Arsenal who controlled the space, the tempo, and the danger. Their pressing structure suffocated Bayern's build-up, and their defensive organisation was a masterpiece of discipline. Then, in the 22nd minute, came the inevitable. Help! From a Bukayo Saka corner, a weapon everyone knows is coming, yet no one can disarm, Jerry and Timber attacked the near post with a perfectly timed run and a powerful, glancing header that flew into the far corner. It was a goal that felt both surprising in its ease and utterly predictable in its origin. Bayern's response was a reminder of their own quality, a swift, clinical counterpunch that showcased their lethal efficiency. A quick diagonal, a first-time cross, and a sharp finish from a young talent brought them level. For a moment, the old questions and anxieties might have surfaced. But this is a different Arsenal. The equaliser did not trigger panic. It ignited a fiercer determination. Whatever tactical adjustments and motivational words were delivered at halftime, they had a transformative effect. Arsenal emerged for the second half with an even greater intensity, a team possessed. They swarmed Bayern in waves, and the German champions, so accustomed to controlling matches, were suddenly drowning. The pressure was unrelenting. Saka forced a save, Martinelli missed a header, and Mascara was denied from close range. The breakthrough felt inevitable, and it arrived in the 69th minute. It was Declan Rice, the omnipresent force, who won the ball back and initiated the move, feeding Ez, who found the overlapping run of substitute Ricardo Calafiori. His first-time cross was met with a composed side-foot finish from Noni Madueke. The Emirates erupted, not just for the goal, but for the manner of it. A substitute making an immediate, game-changing impact. The victory was sealed just 6 minutes later in devastating fashion. A quick transition saw Eze play a perfectly weighted pass over the top for Gabriel Martinelli, another substitute. The Brazilian's blistering pace took him clear, and he displayed sublime composure to round the stranded Manuel Neuer and roll the ball into an empty net. It was a breathtaking goal that encapsulated their threat on the counter, their speed of thought, and their unshakable confidence. The 3-1 scoreline was a fair reflection of a performance that was less a victory and more a total domination of one of Europe's elite. So what are the foundational pillars that make this Arsenal team feel so unplayable? It is a confluence of several distinct advantages that, when combined, create an almost insurmountable challenge. First is their tactical fluidity. This is not a team locked into a single, rigid formation. They are shapeshifters, capable of transitioning seamlessly from a 4-3-3 in possession to a 3-2-5 in build-up, and a 4-4-2 press out of it. Full-backs become midfielders, defensive midfielders become playmakers, and attackers constantly rotate positions. This constant motion overloads the opposition's defensive structure, creating confusion and opening spaces that are expertly exploited. Second is their defensive impenetrability, which is a function of collective effort rather than individual brilliance. The entire unit defends from the front, squeezing the pitch and forcing opponents into low percentage efforts. They have one of the best defensive records in Europe because they simply do not allow the opposition to generate high-quality chances. Third, their set-piece mastery has become a psychological weapon as much as a tactical one. The knowledge that every corner or free kick is a likely goal-scoring opportunity adds an immense layer of pressure on the opponent. Fourth, their squad depth is a weapon of mass destruction. Unlike teams that use substitutes to see out games, Arsenal uses theirs to win them. The introductions of Calafiori, Martinelli and Madueke against Bayern didn't just maintain the lead. They extended it and shattered the opponent's spirit. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, is the monumental shift in mentality. The fragility of the past has been replaced by a steely, unshakable belief. Conceding a goal no longer induces doubt. It provokes a more aggressive and focused response. They have transitioned from a team that hoped to win to a team that expects and demands to win. This mental fortitude, combined with their tactical and technical superiority, is what separates contenders from champions. When you stack these elements together, the flexibility, the set pieces, the depth, and the mentality, you create a footballing entity that feels, for any opponent facing them, truly and utterly unplayable. Unplayable.